Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take some time and dwell on what the amended bill will do. It will, for the first time in 45 years, for the first time since October 1970, this bill will remove the statutory requirement that party leaders approve party candidates in general elections. It will also mandate that after each general election, each House of Commons caucus, as its first item of business, vote on the rules that govern that party caucus. In other words, after the next general election, MPs will be given the vote in respect of their role as elected members of caucus in this Parliament. And with that vote, these elected MPs, we as elected MPs, can choose to empower ourselves, or we can choose to give that power to party leaders. And so, if this bill becomes law, the first item of official business that we will have when we first meet as party caucuses will be to vote either to adopt or to reject or to modify 4 sets of rules that will govern party caucuses. The first being the election and removal of the caucus chair. The second being the expulsion or readmission of caucus members. The third being the review and removal of the party leader. And the fourth would be the election of the interim leader. And Mr. Speaker, in the life of this Parliament, we've had examples of these rules being utilized in the last 4 years. But they've never been clear as to their exercise, and they seem to be largely based on circumstance rather than on clear guidelines and clearly defined rules. And so, Mr. Speaker, that would be a significant change from the status quo. Significant change in terms of the removal of the party leader veto, been in place since October 1970 in the Canada Elections Act, and the empowerment of caucuses to decide as their first order of business after each and every general election how they're going to structure themselves and how they are going to govern themselves. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to dwell a little bit on why I believe this bill, as amended, is so very important. It is clear that we have a problem in Ottawa. We have a problem in Parliament. We have a problem in the House of Commons. This shouldn't be news to anyone. The fact of the matter is that over the last number of decades, that barrels of ink have been spilt documenting this problem. And that problem, Mr. Speaker, quite simply is this. There has been a change in our Westminster parliamentary system of government. A change away from a legislature and a House of Commons that was empowered by Robert Baldwin and Louis Hippolyte Lafontaine. A change away from the principles of responsible government that meant that the Governor and Council was not accountable back to their colonial masters in London, but rather to an elected legislature in this very place, the House of Commons. And those rule changes have created a fundamental problem. And that fundamental problem is the centralization of power in party leaders. This problem